Good morning. It's Thursday, April 10th. Here's what we're working on. A survey for the Hamilton Mayor's Task Force shows a huge majority of people asked don't trust City Hall.
The death toll continues to rise after a devastating roof collapse at a popular nightclub in the Dominican Republic.
And the Queen of Emotions is going to be inducted into Canada's National Recording Registry. Good morning. Kelly Patelli with us again this morning, as she is all week. Brian, I had to check the calendar again. It says April 10th. It feels like February 10th.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, you know, at least we got to 5 yesterday.
Yes.
That's half where we should be for this time of year, and today we're not even going to get there. We're going to hit 3 today, and that's it.
And snow.
And snow.
And snow.
Snow. Snow. It'll begin as snow this morning, and then it's going to cycle into some rain, chance of some mixing precipitation, chance of some snow, rain as the day goes on. Chilly wind and a high of only 3 today. So winter is just kind of grabbing on and just doesn't want to let go. Temperature will dip a little bit, but it won't freeze overnight tonight. And tomorrow we're only going to hit 4. So it's going to stay on the cool side for the next, actually even into the weekend. Even Saturday is going to be well below seasonal with showers. So I hope to bring you some good news for Sunday, and we will look at all of the details in the forecast coming up. We're sitting right on the freezing mark right now, and we do have, looking at our radar shot, which I'll show you in a bit, a little bit of snow getting closer to us now from the southwest. Talk about that coming up. How about a check on traffic here this morning? No problems, nothing going on at the 403 and Waterdown Road. That's our camera. We'll check the other MTO traffic cameras, just a few. Nikola Tesla Boulevard looks good toward the Skyway. Coming off the Skyway at North Shore Boulevard, all doing fine. Generally, it's pretty good all the way through Bronte into Mississauga. No problems right now. Details on the forecast, of course, and the traffic watch coming up. Right now, the news. Okay, thanks very much. Well, a new report from the Hamilton Mayor's Task Force shows 80% of people in the survey surveyed don't trust the city. Simone Gavros joins us now from Hamilton Mountain with the breakdown of this report.
Well, Annette, the task force said it took about 14 months to gather all of the research in this report that highlighted a lot of key concerns from community members when it comes to transparency and trust. Now, this morning, I'll be speaking to people here on the mountain to get their reaction to this report. But here's more from city councilors yesterday when they heard this detail.
Some tough conversations on some tough issues, but I think that what you've done here is something that will help guide our future.
I honestly am shocked and disappointed that 80% said that overall transparency, accountability, low or very low in terms of trust. I'm just being very honest in saying I was surprised at that.
But I think what we're hearing from the survey is people have concerns. They want to see better communication. They want to see more transparency. They want to see more clarity.
So all in all, I think a valuable exercise, and one that we don't need to be at all defensive about. We just need to learn what we can from it and embrace those things that are helpful.
The Mayor's Task Force on Transparency, Accountability and Access final report found 80% of survey respondents gave the city a negative rating in the trust department. This is just a look at the graph that was provided in the report. Only 20% reported high or very high trust levels. The Hamiltonians reported that they want more information and transparency on city spending, housing and homelessness, construction and public safety. Those surveys recommended having city leadership be more responsive, spending tax dollars wisely, and ensuring value for money. Hamiltonians are also looking for improved cleanliness, safety, and follow-ups on complaints related to the conditions of the city, among many other things. The task force recommends that the city considers the details in this report and come back with some recommendations on what they're going to do to put forward some of these recommendations and concerns from city members and put that forward into the city for now. But for now, I'll send things back over to you, Kelly.
Thank you, Simone. A grim search in a Hamilton area landfill is going to continue at least another 2 weeks. Hamilton police are going through a landfill on Haldebrook Road in Glanbrook, looking for any sign of 40-year-old Shalini Singh. They believe her remains ended up in the landfill after she was killed in her downtown Hamilton apartment last December. Forensics teams of officers and police cadets are carefully going through an area identified by a GPS tracker on a garbage truck. The search was supposed to wrap up April 18th. Investigators have told CHCH News it will now be extended 2 more weeks, at which time they'll reevaluate again.
Grand Erie Public Health Unit is not only dealing with the measles outbreak, it's also dealing with a big leadership change. The health board has announced the sudden departure of CEO Brent Richardson with no explanation of why he's out. Richardson joined the Brant County Health Unit in 2017 before it was combined into the Grand Erie Health Unit in 2022. Now, the health unit's board chair says in part, quote, "This is a defining moment for Grand Erie Public Health. We are focused on welcoming a new CEO who will play a pivotal role in shaping the future of our newly integrated organization." It all comes as Ontario faces a widespread measles outbreak that started in the fall, with a total of 661 confirmed cases now. Most of the cases are in Grand Erie and Southwestern public health units, but cases continue to rise right now in Waterloo, Chatham-Kent, and Huron-Perth.
A devastating roof collapse at a popular nightclub in the capital of the Dominican Republic has killed at least 184 people. More than 300 people were inside the Jet Set nightclub when the roof collapsed during a performance early Tuesday morning. 2 former Major League Baseball players are among the dead. In addition to those killed, an official said more than 200 people were injured and taken to hospital. The search for survivors from the early Tuesday disaster at the club is over, and victim recovery efforts continue. The cause is still under investigation.
Another big economic shift because of what's happening in the White House. U.S. President Donald Trump abruptly announced a temporary reprieve on all those sweeping reciprocal tariffs for more than 75 countries.
Somebody had to do what we did, and I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate, because I told them if you retaliate, we're going to double it. And that's what I did with China, because they did retaliate.
This 90-day pause lowers rates to a baseline 10% for everyone except China, Canada, and Mexico. The White House has confirmed Canada and Mexico are exempt from the 10%, but Canada still faces large tariffs on steel, aluminum, and automobiles. Now, as Prime Minister, Mark Carney posted on X last night, quote, "The pause on reciprocal tariffs announced by President Trump is a welcome reprieve for the global economy." Carney has promised to negotiate a new economic and security agreement with the United States after the federal election on April 28th. He says whoever is prime minister will negotiate with him. Despite being spared from Trump's broader reciprocal tariffs, Carney imposed a 25% reciprocal tariff on all imported vehicles not covered by the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement.
Federal party leaders made key pledges, including fast-tracking energy projects, harsher penalties for repeat offenders, and expanding pharmacare.
We can't build Canada into an energy superpower if we can't actually get the shovels into the ground. To put it plainly, we need to get going. And that's why my Liberal government will establish a major federal project office with a clear mandate. Issue a decision after a single review on a project within 2 years instead of 5.
We will carry out the biggest crackdown on crime in Canadian history, and we will do it by passing the 3 strikes you're out law. 3 strikes you're out means that anyone convicted of 3 serious offenses will be ineligible thereafter for bail, probation, parole, or house arrest. And they will serve a minimum of 10 years behind bars, a maximum of life imprisonment, and they will have to earn their release even still.
Our commitment is New Democrats will fight to bring in the next step, which is to cover all essential medication. These are the medications that are most often prescribed. This is going to give a lot of relief to people that are worried about being able to afford their medication. It's going to save money for families. It's also going to improve our healthcare system.
Today, Liberal leader Mark Carney is set to make an announcement in Brampton before meeting supporters in Hamilton at 3 p.m. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has a news conference in Milton this morning and a rally tonight in Woolwich. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is campaigning in Saskatoon. Green Party co-leader Elizabeth May is campaigning in Moncton, New Brunswick, and co-leader Jonathan Pedno is holding a press conference in Montreal this morning.
In Sportsline, Matthew Nyes scored an overtime goal as part of his second hat trick of the season as the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-3.
And now it's a 2-on-1 for Toronto. Nyes up in, what a pass, big save by Vasilevsky. Another chance coming up. Nyes wins it in overtime.
Toronto opened a 3-point lead on Tampa Bay for first place in the Atlantic Division of the NHL with 4 games left for each team. Nyes finished off his hat trick with a minute left in overtime. Mitch Marner had a goal and 3 points, and Austin Matthews had 3 assists for the Leafs. Goalie Anthony Stolarz finished with 25 saves.
And here comes Leo Carlson. Turns on the Jets up right wing. Hits the brakes, trailing. Gauthier scores!
Cutter Gauthier scored his second goal of the game in overtime to give the Anaheim Ducks a 4-3 win against the Calgary Flames at Honda Center last night. A tough loss for the Flames. Michael Backlund had a goal and an assist for the Flames in regulation, while Uyghur Sharangovich and Matt Coronado also scored. Dustin Wolf stopped 19 of the 23 shots he faced in the loss.
Right in his kitchen, similar to Perry, the guy he fought.
Quick shot off the post. Jeff Skinner set up by Connor Brown.
Connor Brown scored twice, and Connor McDavid had 3 assists in his return to the lineup. And the injury-riddled Edmonton Oilers move within a hair of wrapping up a playoff spot. They beat St. Louis last night 4-3. Now, the Oilers would have clinched a postseason spot if the Calgary Flames lost in regulation rather than in overtime in Anaheim. Well, round 2 of the OHL playoffs start tonight. The Brantford Bulldogs will host the Oshawa Generals tonight in Game 1. Tonight's game and Sunday's Game 2 will take place at the Brantford Civic Centre. The series will then move to Oshawa for Games 3 and 4 before they come back to Brantford. The game starts tonight at 7 o'clock. And the Bulldogs Foundation is going to be hosting a food drive for Brantford Food Bank ahead of tonight's game. They're going to start collecting donations outside of the arena, actually at 4 o'clock, so 3 hours before game starts. And there are still tickets available for tonight's game.
Coming up on 13 minutes after 6 o'clock on this 10th morning of April. We've hit double digits in April. Just wish our temperature could match that. No, it's not going to do it again today. Yesterday we got to 5. We'll struggle again today. But first of all, let's have a quick check on the roads. Roads this morning, doing fine. No problems. 403 and Watertown Road, that's our exclusive camera. Nothing to see there. So, to some MTO traffic cameras into St. Catharines at Martindale. Doing okay there. Nothing at Nikola Tesla still. Here's east of Brant, so Toronto-bound lanes towards us on that shot. Same here at the Ford plant. Same here at Etobicoke Creek. Not much happening on the roads. Take it carefully, please. Let's start with our temperature that we have at the moment. And the temperature has, just gone up a degree. We are now on the plus side, +1 this morning. It's cloudy. We do have some snow flurry activity getting closer to us. I just looked out our weather window. Couldn't see anything just as yet, but it's getting closer. The winds are light, relative humidity comfortable, and it's a cloudy start to our morning here. So for school today, it's going to be a cloudy day, not a lot of sun. Hope you enjoyed what we had yesterday. So cloudy, we'll get some snow, cycling into some rain and some mixing, quite possible for the day today. And we're really going to struggle temperature-wise, a high of only 3 for the day today. Here come the blue area is the snow on the map. Now, it's pushing towards the horseshoe. This is a 6-hour loop, as you see. It just keeps repeating. So it's been getting closer to us throughout the overnight and is going to start very shortly as that low pressure system climbs towards us. And once it does, it's going to cycle into some rain. So we could get some snow rain mixing as the day progresses. Cloudy again tomorrow with showers, and showers again even as we get into Saturday. But after that, it'll get better. So today, temperatures way below seasonal, 3, 4, and 5 degrees. There's that mixing precipitation all the way around the horseshoe today. Tonight, It looks like some showers are quite possible. Some areas could get some mixing, but we'll stay on the plus side tonight. 1, 2, and 3 degrees, depending on where you are. And then tomorrow, well, temperatures climb a little bit, but just a little bit. 4 for Hamilton, but 5, 6, 7, and 8 degrees, depending on where you are. But again, no sunshine tomorrow, cloudy skies with chance of showers for the day. So we'll do the long range coming up. So out the door this morning, it is cloudy. The winds are fairly light, so no problems there. The temperature is at least on the plus side at +1. And we'll look long range, of course, as I said, coming up. Annette, Kelly.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, coming up after the break, we're going to say good morning to Louis Butko. He's in for Emily, who's vacationing this week. He's got a preview of Chit Chat. And in the markets, the world still reacting to another Trump move, the tariff U-turn. We'll have the details. 6:17, and we say good morning to Louis. What's coming up in Chit Chat?
Well, hit HBO show has been renewed for a 3rd season, even though we are all still patiently waiting for season 2 to premiere on Sunday.
Okay.
It's getting ahead of itself.
Yeah, a little, exactly. An iconic Celine Dion song will join more than 20 others for preservation for all time in the U.S. Library of Congress. And Saturday Night Live is heading across the pond.
Oh, is that a first?
Okay, so I'll have to explain it to you because it's a pretty interesting proposals here. So that's coming up in Chit Chat.
All right. Well, in business news, U.S. President Donald Trump has temporarily walked back most of his global tariffs, sending the markets higher in response. Of course, he's taking credit for that, but no fault for when they tanked. The Canadian dollar is up 8 basis points this morning, trading more than 71 cents U.S., or right at 71 cents U.S. Gold up another $46 an ounce after a huge jump yesterday. And crude oil is down $1.93 to $60.42 a barrel. Midday trading in Europe, huge gains across the board there as well. The DAX in Frankfurt, by the way, is up almost 1,000 points this morning.
Asian markets also trended up, with Tokyo closing almost 2,900 points higher after a week of huge losses. And in North American markets, we don't see this often. 4-digit gains across the board. The TSX gained over 1,200 points. The Dow added nearly 3,000, and the Nasdaq closed 1,800 points higher.
And as we mentioned, Trump is taking credit for the market recovery, even though the crash was created by his tariff policy, and the solution was him flip-flopping on that.
There's a lot of winning out there, and we're having a good day in the stock market, as you can see, an all-time record day, and hopefully it continues. I think it should. Our country's stronger than it's ever been.
Trump did no favors for China, increasing tariffs on Chinese imports by 125%. That affects products like mobile phones, computers, toys, and clothing, which are major imports from China into the States. China has announced it's hitting all U.S. goods with 84% tariffs today. That's up from the 34% they had previously announced. Trump has set China apart from other nations, saying in a social media post, a rambling one, that he put a pause on other trading partners because they reached out for talks rather than retaliating.
Meantime, the European Union has agreed to impose retaliatory tariffs on $23 billion worth of U.S. goods. The tariffs will roll out in stages starting April 16th and again May 15th and then December 1st. The move follows U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum announced in February. All EU member states backed the retaliation except Hungary, whose prime minister is a close Trump ally. The EU says the U.S. tariffs are unjustified and economically harmful.
As G7 chair, Canada is working with Japan and the EU to stabilize global financial markets amid all this turmoil. Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne held talks with Japanese and EU counterparts, sharing their concerns over the tariffs. U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs caused a global market sell-off, even affecting U.S. treasuries. Well, most tariffs are paused, as we mentioned, for 90 days. There's a lot of uncertainty right around the world. So Japan's going to cooperate with the G7 and the International Monetary Fund to help stabilize markets. G7 nations, excluding the United States, are all advocating for talks to ease tension ahead of this month's meetings.
All right, taking a break right now. Brian will be back with your traffic and 7-day forecast.
6:24 already. Let's get you going into this Thursday morning. We got try that again. It happens sometimes. QEW at Glendale looks good here. You can see it lighten the sky. We're getting closer to sunrise here. South of 2 as we flip to the other side of the Skyway Bridge. Still looks pretty good there. Nothing at Brodie. Again, nothing at Sheraton. We'll dip into the 403 at Dundas. That's pretty light this morning, so not much going on there. Temperatures this morning, we have climbed. We were 0 last hour. We're now sitting at +1. 0 Mississauga, 2 for Toronto. But Grimsby struggling. Still in the minus column, just at -1. Seasonals now are 10 for the daytime high. Keep in mind we got to 5 yesterday. We'll get nowhere near there today. And 1 for the overnight low. So we're sitting at a seasonal start to the day. And those are our sun times and records for today. And it looks kind of messy today, doesn't it? Yeah, we're going to get some flurries this morning, some light snow, and 2 for the first bell, and then that mixing, which means we could get some flurries, we could get some rain, but it will be 3 for after school, and that's the forecast high for the day today. 3 degrees, that's it. That's all we're going to get to. Temperature doesn't fluctuate very much tonight, even into tomorrow. 2 tonight, 4 tomorrow, with showers, 9 showers on Saturday. Then it gets better. Sunday, sun and 12, then 14 by Monday. That's your forecast. Annette Kelly.
Thank you, Brian. Most people use trailers to transport their horses, but this is no ordinary horse and no ordinary show.
So the horse arrived at the Sydney Royal Easter Show in Australia in the back of a convertible. So this event is similar to the CNE or the Calgary Stampede. It's held every spring for 2 weeks. So the Easter show has an agricultural show, a midway, all kinds of competition that goes on for 2 weeks. Back to the horse.
Yeah.
It's very Australian. It even has a very Australian name, Vegemite. Vegemite will be performing at the Royal Stunt Show at night. Before that, Vegemite enjoyed a bath and some oats. Brian, okay. Wow. I don't want to clean up the back of that car afterwards, Brian.
No, thank you very much. Yes, because, they just do what they have to do whenever they want to do it. It doesn't matter where they are or the timing. I would have loved to have seen how they got that horse into that car. That would have been really interesting.
And how is it not dragging? How's the car not literally on the ground?
I don't know.
Horsepower.
That's right.
Both the back and the front,
Yeah, I can't answer that one. That's a mystery to me.
Okay. Speaking of mysteries, why is winter back? And Brian's going to explain that for us right after this.
Yeah. I'll tell you all about it.